Let's get going. All right, welcome everybody to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to be looking at the live order flow. Webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to be looking at the we're going to be looking at the live order flow within Bookmap, and the reason being here is order flow gives us an edge. Participants in the markets can only participate via orders. So we want to understand where they're positioned. Are they transacting? Where they may get stopped out, where they may be fuel for moves. All sorts of things. Using order flow, that will give us an edge, and that's what we're here for. We want an edge using order flow. So I'm going to map out some things today. So, keep it really, really simple as we go through. So you might want to take a look at a previous webinar that we had on Friday. There was some really good stuff in there that we covered regarding failed breakdowns and buying the dips that we saw. And we're going to go through the same process to begin with first off here. And then we're going to take a look at some of these things and come up with scenarios. These were some of the scenarios that we came up on Friday and about buying the dips, and we saw some pretty good action during our webinar. Anyway, a few news items. Join our blue jacket competition using the trade control panel, taking trades within Bookmap. It can be in demo. It could even be in replay mode, I believe. And anyway, show us your best trade. You can use the QR code here. And then on Instagram, X, or LinkedIn, post it with hashtag #FreeBlueJacket, your screenshot, and it will immediately come into our feed. All right, so that's how you can participate, and you can win 3 months of Bookmap Global Plus with data and the coveted Blue Jacket hoodie. All right, this is the process we went through, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do it every webinar. Impetus, what's moving the market? This is just so critical and so important. What are the markets anticipating? That could be one thing. What about the data? What about geopolitical concerns? What about maybe some higher time frame key levels that can really catch people off guard? And those can be really big moves. So these are the things that we want to look at. The second thing here is our higher time frame key levels. We went over this in detail on Friday, and we'll do it again here today. I think it was started to resonate with some people, at least some of the feedback I got. And then number 3, develop strategies and scenarios. Now, these aren't setups. It's more about understanding what's going on with number 1 and number 2 here. So, for example, this week we have a lot of data coming out. We have non-farm on Wednesday. We have CPI on Friday. We have core retail sales tomorrow, or retail sales, and I mean, these are just the big ones, and those are huge. The market's going to react to these, and it might already be positioning itself, and it's more like buy the rumor, sell the news. And this is how we start to develop our strategies and scenarios, and it's kind of an outlook and getting prepared for what's moving the markets and where are our key time frame or higher time frame levels, and then we can start to, like, for example, maybe we want to fade moves, fade breakouts. We get a breakout, but we want to fade it back into the range. And there's another thing we're adding in here. Well, we list it right here: time of day. This is critical as well. Okay? What is your time of day? You don't want to be doing this on the breakout in the morning for the 9:30 cash open. You don't want to fade it necessarily. Maybe it sets up that way, but these are momentum drives in the morning. The time of day is critical, right? We'll put that into our scenarios and our strategies here. Then we pick the proper setup, okay, with all of these things in mind in here. And then we maybe pick several different setups during the day. One's maybe faded back into the range. One's maybe a breakout. One is a reversal. One is one momentum trade, whatever. But anyway, you should know your setups extremely well. They should have an edge, and it's a checklist for yourself. You know it. You grade it, you determine your risk and your sizing, and you watch the order flow to execute and manage. That's the process here. Going through this process, the markets are complex. So going through this process in here will help filter out a lot of unnecessary risk and anxiety. And that's what we want to do, is we want to look for the gems. And something that is easier to trade for ourselves. Now, that is the Bookmap Academy, the process we go through. We also go through it in Bruce's pilot program here. But this is much more focused, and it's about building a trading edge. And we offer this with all our Global and Global Plus subscribers because we ran into an issue where most traders were trading setups, but they had no idea if they have edges or not. And you shouldn't be trading if you don't know if you have an edge. So, you might have watched videos, read books, whatever, understand the setup extremely well, but then you take it and you don't understand maybe the context you're taking it in, and you might get several losers. And you don't know if it has an edge. You haven't proven it, and it's critical to prove it, right? So this program is designed to change that with a structured process that we have, and you'll be doing it by trading actually, and this will actually speed up the method here, or the program. All right. So anyway, if you're interested in it, let me show you where you can go. Go to bookmap.com. and then click on the More button up here. And then you'll see Bookmap Academy here under Community, and then Bruce's pilot program right here. So go there and then sign up in here, okay? And then you'll go through the process. You'll get an email, and you'll need to come into Discord for this. Anyway, that's the program. Let's get into the markets here. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. All right, we're going to take a look at the S&P E-mini. And let's start off with our process. Okay, we know that geopolitical stuff is all over the map, but we already went through the data, the releases this week, so there's going to be a lot, and I don't really see any sort of reaction in here yet to really understand what traders are thinking about of what these numbers might be, yeah, anyway, I mean, we do see a lot of buying here just at the cash open right in here. Okay, 930. Here's that opening drive move. Here's a pullback, and we're getting more buyers coming back in again. Okay, and we broke this little swing high here. Okay, so now we're up to 69.61 or so. Now are we gonna look for more buyers to continue with the momentum here? Go up to 69.70, 75. Yeah, that looks pretty good. 7,000. I don't know. Or are we gonna see this see the swing down here and look at the liquidity down at the swing at the 930 swing low here? Okay, quite a bit of liquidity down there at this this area here. Okay, so yeah, about 200 contracts, 300 contracts down there. All right, so anyway, yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it here, and we'll get more into the details of the order flow in just a second. We're still doing this kind of top-down approach here. All right. Good morning, Robert. Trading is life. Alois and Dan and Steven. All right. All right, guys. So let's take a look here, and a lot of liquidity filled. A lot of liquidity filled here. Some exhaustion up in here. So I can see the back and forth unfolding here. Makes good sense. And this is kind of where we left off on Friday, of looking at major and minor swings in here and understanding where traders are more likely to react and why. Okay, so for example, this is a pretty strong move here. Now it traded into high liquidity all the way up. Okay, if we come back down to the minor swing, which is here, okay, or here, right, and we've already come down there, right? We blasted through that one, but we came down to this one here. Okay, so the question is, are we going to get buyers off of here, or are we going to see sellers take it down to the next big level, which might be around this 51 here where it broke out from, or it might be down to a minor one down here at 48, or all the way down here, 45 where it broke out, or down here at 43 and a half or so. All right, so anyway, let's take a big step back and let's look at our higher time frames first. Okay, so we'll look at the daily over here on the candlestick chart, the hourly in the middle, and then the 15-minute here on the right. Okay, so you can see the 15-minute, we already filled this gap rather quickly, and we're still seeing some momentum come in here. Let's start with the daily here. Okay, let's add a bit more. Okay, all right. So the daily has been all over the place, and we can even look at the bigger swings in here and put these pieces together. So down here we see this this swing down here. These are major swings. These are on the daily chart, and then this one here. Well, we're always looking for those for the momentum to go down and test those areas. Okay, so you can see that on this day here last week, this was on Thursday, we went below that swing, and then we found buyers come right back in and trade it right back up. Okay, so we saw some buyers in here. Okay, now on Friday we opened up here, went below the swing down here, and we found some buyers. Okay, so you can see the move here. And when the webinar started on Friday, we were in this area in here, and we were looking for the price to come up. We still had some momentum behind it, and we're looking for buying the dips. We had some dips in here. We see the buyers came in, and we traded back up into some of these swings in here, and that was our target. Was up in here, and you can see at the end of the day we actually went up to this swing up here, just above 69.60. Okay, so we're seeing the buyers starting to come back in again now. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so now this is in hindsight, of course, but this minor swing, it held. We started to find some buyers. Okay, we started just starting to see that. Big selling in here, and then buyers come in, and now we've broken out to these highs here. Okay, so yeah, we're trading into high liquidity, starting to go sideways a bit, and let's look at some other minor swings in here. Now this one's kind of interesting. Okay, it's not much there, right? Or maybe it's kind of down in this area here, or maybe down in this area in here. Okay, these are all pretty minor. The bigger one is clearly down here. Okay, so anyway, zoom out a little bit more here. There's a big stop run just there. Okay, so I'm very curious to see if we ran into a swing up here, and we did. Okay, so let me draw that up. I'm just using the quick keys in here for the drawing tools. You can see I gave them a letter in here, so I can very quickly draw them up. I just hit R for Ray, and I can draw it just like that and hold down the shift key, and then there's my level. Okay, so all right, so we're just trading up to it now. And this is a pretty important level, so I would anticipate there to be a pullback here. Okay, I would look for the pullback to well, 62 and 60, kind of what we drew up here. Now that's obviously it's counter trend, but you know, these are big areas of liquidity, and it's an important level. We're going to find some profit taking, and we're going to find some sellers, and that's the pullback. And we just had a big stop run here. So stop run meaning that's not necessarily new buying, it's people getting stopped out. Let's see here. And we got to pull back to our to our minor level here, right here, right? Yeah, I was looking for a little bit lower, 62 here. Instead, we got it to about 62 and a half. All right. Let me see if any questions in here, and some of the more major levels in here. Looking at the daily and the hourly here. Not really. I mean, we're just above this on the hourly here, and then also from Friday. And there's tons of momentum here still, right? So yeah, looking for the next level here. Maybe up into here, somewhere around 78, 7,000, 7,015. Okay, our 78 levels up here. We see high liquidity here at 75. That's a good target. This momentum. Good morning, Laura. Okay, yeah, so still, I mean, I don't see any selling here yet. I'm looking for this momentum to continue until we see something else. So 70 is the target right now, and then I would anticipate a bit of a pullback from there as well. But 322 contracts up here at 75, and we just looked at our 78 level, somewhere up around here. I have too many. Yeah, okay, so here you can see 80 basically, a little swing right in here on the 15-minute chart. So 75 does look pretty good. It just traded into 70. Okay, would anticipate a bit of a pullback here. Okay, let's see where. Maybe back down to here. Let's take a look. It's also a small level here. Okay, any questions so far? Let's go through our process again. So basically what we're looking at right now is a continuation, momentum, time of day. Here we are approaching 10:30. A lot of times we get a slowdown right around now, and some back and forth and all sorts of stuff before we get the continuation. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. Okay, there's our pullback. You can see high liquidity in here just below that little swing, or at that swing here as well at 64.5. And another area down here, 62 looks pretty good. Let's see if we can find our buyers again here down in this area. Starting to. Okay. And first target would be here at 70, back to 70. Some liquidity there. Okay, there's our first target, just about reached. Okay, pull back. All right, so I know you guys, God, I just can't, I know that I've been kind of dogging it, or I just haven't had the time to quite get to the low volume pullback. But some of this stuff is starting to unfold in front of us, and we went over it on Friday in the webinar for the pilot program, this low volume pullback. And some details in here. Like this one in here, we're not looking for continuation in this one here when we get this move back like this. Okay, I'm not looking for buying here. All right, here's why. Look at the volume in this. Okay, we see the basically you've got this kind of pattern, and it did its move, and it came back up to where we wanted it to go around that 70 level. But look at the volume up in here, right? Okay, there's not much, right? And look down here. Now, if we had a bigger cluster, like something like this or like this in here, yeah, over here, then we'd look for that to maybe hit 72 or 70 or 75. Okay, not this one though. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? Like this is a pass here. A pass on it. Don't take it. Like it's not giving us the follow through we're looking for. And we want to see. Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things in here. Like basically, to be honest, I need to kind of pull back a bit. First thing we're looking for is an impulse move. Okay, like this here. This is an impulse move. Okay, it's away from this cluster or this area over here, and then we're looking for continuation and pullbacks from that. Okay, and we're looking for small pullbacks in this one in here. Okay, because this is a strong move. So the pullback, we're looking for it to be weak. So we look for our minor levels for the pullback. Okay, you can also, clearly, like there's a really nice low volume nodes in here. Okay, now it may come back in there, but usually it comes back to what I find at least is back into some of these little swings in here where other buyers are willing to get in. Okay, maybe it dips into the low volume node, and then you're looking for those buyers to come roaring out of that area. Okay, in this case, you can see this is very, very shallow pullback, and then we get continuation. Now we saw that stop run here too, so that kind of makes things a little more challenging. All right. Okay, look at this guy. All right, it comes all the way back down. Okay, and let's see if we get a bounce here. Would look for it. Oh, salty profits. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the advice, your advice to the newbies to watch everyone, and stick with it here, and it'll click. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, like, we have a process. We have setups from the pilot program, but there's no kind of linear thinking here. It's a complex thing. There's a lot going on. Okay, so that with that complexity, we want to start to kind of like cut away some of the complexity, some of the things that we know, what we're looking for, what we're anticipating, and that's this kind of top-down approach, and start to eliminate some of these things. Okay, so that's why we come up with the scenarios. We have to kind of understand how traders are reacting to things. What is the news? How are they reacting to the news, or the upcoming news, earnings, whatever it might be, and then we start to look at our key levels, okay? And where that'll give us a lot of insight to how traders, what they think of the news. Then the really important part, I feel, is to start to develop your scenarios around some of these areas here, putting these pieces together. Now, just developing the scenarios on your own, okay, is a really important part. However, don't be caught off guard with a bias. Don't be too biased about it. You're looking for those scenarios to unfold. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And how are you going to know? Is the order flow will help guide you at that point. Okay, so that will really help narrow down the process for yourself. Okay, so for example, here we came back down to this level, right? Now we're starting to find some buyers. Okay, this is low enough. Okay, now how many buyers did we find? Not too many, right? But do we want to also look at absorption in here, areas of liquidity that got filled. There's some in here and there's some here. Okay, maybe it's enough, maybe it's not. Let's look at some of the clusters. Now, we covered this on Friday too, and it's already starting to do it. Okay, I would look for this to continue on up to about 65, maybe 67. Heck, we might get back up to the swing highs again. Okay, now this is something that Mr. Smiles, you came up with some, you absorbed this concept really well on Friday. Are you in here today, Mr. Smiles? Let's see. No, I don't see him. Okay. Anyway, this is. I hope I don't want to confuse you guys, but this is an example of an alternative version here of this kind of trend line break and accumulation trade right in here. All right, now here's why. Okay, is we don't have a lot of liquidity on the bid here. Okay, we have a few areas, and they filled, right? They filled. Okay, now we're down at kind of a semi-key level down here, around this 60 area here. We marked it up here with this little rectangle here. Okay, I think maybe above that swing. Anyway, somewhere around in here. All right. Now, this is how, and how I want to explain this is we don't want to be too rigid with our thinking. We're going to talk more about context of this trend line break accumulation trade. Just the name itself it already doesn't help in some cases. And what I mean is it's going to create a bias. You're going to look for a trend line break. Okay, you're going to look for, oh, okay, the trend line broke, I should get in. That's not it. Okay, that's not what we want to do here. What we want to look for is a break of the structure. Okay, now this is a downtrending structure here for this this time frame. Okay, and then it broke it, yeah. Okay, but we want to look at this horizontal structure in here. Okay, and in fact, let me do the put in the channel. Okay, and I'll just mark it up like that. There we go. And let me get rid of this here as well. Okay, so we don't want to be too rigid with our thinking in here about this trend line break and accumulation. What we want to understand is the context in here, and this is that complexity in trading. Trading is not easy, and it's very complex. What is kind of unfolding in here? There's so many different players doing so many different things, but we can simplify this by starting to understand the context of a structural break. And in this case here, let me edit this one. This is the structure actually that we're talking about. Okay, so yeah, it broke the trend line. That's good. And we have a horizontal structure here though too. And we want to understand this little area in here. It's going to give us a lot of insight. So we're looking for aggressive accumulation at that point, at this point here. Okay, because we broke the structure in a downtrend. Sellers trading into high liquidity. Okay, now in the setup, we're looking for 3+ levels. Okay, three or more levels of very high liquidity getting filled. Then we're looking for other things at a key level, and then a structural break, etc. In this case, this is a pretty strong move here to the upside. We trade back down to where it broke out from down here. We don't see a lot of high liquidity here, but there is some. There's 2 levels, and it's not really that good. But the context is still here, that at least there's some. Our structure broke. The buyers came in and pulled away in here and started to accumulate in this little area in here. And this is a good example. This is what it looks like. Okay, there's some in here too, right? But it didn't break the structure yet. Okay, see it here in the bars as well here. And then we really see it here, but it broke the structure now. Okay, that's when we're looking for we're looking for that momentum move to continue, right? And we're looking for our next levels here, our swings, okay, our high liquidity as well. Okay, we were looking for maybe the move back, just a simple move back up into, like, oh God, I don't know, what did we say, like maybe 68 up here, 67, maybe it was 65, and then maybe it would come back up to the swings here, or even our 75 level, okay, where it was really high liquidity up here. Okay, now it's made it there, and it's still going. Okay, there's still some momentum behind it. Okay, so maybe it can eke out this move a little bit higher here into 77, up to 80. All right. So anyway, is this making sense to you guys? Is this clear? Laura, I need to get clarification, or I need to get your confirmation here, because you really, it's clear. Okay, great. Like there was a few webinars where you had mentioned, like, you just confused the hell out of me, and I was like, oh no, it really sent me reeling. I had to kind of figure out ways to go back and undo that, yeah, no worries, Laura. But just to help clarify, and I don't know what the best way, how to describe this, of like just taking this really all this kind of complexity that we're talking about here, and then starting to kind of cut it away, little bit by bit, right? And what are we looking for? Then that should help us. That should help us kind of focus on something that gives more clarity. Okay, now this clarity in here, like I said, this is kind of like another rendition, or what's the right word? Kind of a version of this trendline break and accumulation. Okay, now the passive liquidity, or the passive buyers in here, there's not a lot, and broke a trend line. It also broke the horizontal structure, and we saw this accumulation here. Now there's something better in, or something more in here too. Okay, now this is in hindsight. I didn't see it immediately, but this breakout from this area here, that's where these buyers came in. Okay, so let me just draw that up. Okay, so that's where they came in, and that was this first impulse move. Okay, so that's where we found more buyers again, but we found them up a little bit higher here. Okay, and that's where we're looking for that accumulation in here. It was over here first, and now it's over here. Okay, so maybe we can look at this and say, like, well, we don't need 3+ levels in here of passive accumulation. There's not that much selling. Okay, there's a lot more buying in here, over here. Okay, so this is a good pullback to this level, and there's some accumulation here passively. Then we break the structure and we see a lot of aggressive accumulation starting to come in, and that's when we're looking for it to move. Right, so those are the, if we can kind of boil down some of these key points in here. You have entered this. Okay, Robert, I assumed that you were probably in this. Yeah, it's a nice one. Now again, it's not, it's not verbatim. It's not going through here. Let me just bring up the checklist in here. Okay, let me just down here. Oh God, where is it, guys? Setups checklist. Yeah, it's right at the top. There we go. Okay, so here it is, and this is very particular, right? We're looking for 3+ levels here of passive accumulation. Okay, here we only had 2, but now in context here, we have, so this is where those buyers came in. That's our key level here, and then we started to break we're looking for this pullback in here, and it kept on pulling back. So that was kind of surprising. I thought maybe this one here, that would do it, and then we'd see this move back up. Now we came back down further, down here, and we see some of that passive accumulation, and then that aggressive accumulation a little bit before, but certainly after they broke the structure, and that's when we're looking for the move. Okay. Anyway, now, did we adhere to the setups checklist up here? Kind of, right? It's different, but we're understanding this context in here, okay, between the buyers and the sellers. All right, let me see if any questions over here on YouTube. I'm just using the smart clustering on the here. Let me go to the settings here. Yeah, always on top. Okay, good. Let's go to the volume dot settings in here. Okay, here. I'm just going to hit restore if it's not in the default right now. It certainly is. It was a little bit off, right? So it is now. So this is all I do. I'm just using the default settings. Okay, I like it. Maybe sometimes I bring down the size a bit. It's maybe I want to see a little more of the dots, because sometimes these get a little too big and the clusters are too big. I want to see it kind of, I want to see the momentum behind the move. So a lot of times I'll bring down the size, and maybe also some of the clustering in here too. I'll bring that down sometimes, but that's about it. Okay, I don't mess with the minimum displayed volume or trade size down here. You can, I have in the past. I've liked it, but yeah, I just use really pretty much almost always smart clustering, and I'll use the slider a bit depending on how much I want to see, and then the size as well, if it's different from the default. All right, that's it. Okay. All right. So let's see what are we at? Where are we now, and what do we think now? And well, first off, let's take a big step back. Look at our bigger picture here. Okay, so we came up to this swing here on the 15-minute. Okay. 15-minute, hour, and daily are all still looking pretty good for a momentum move in here. Okay. But now time of day, and these are pretty big moves. So, and the time of day, so it's 10:45 here in the East Coast. And we just came up to, this swing and that high liquidity. So I'm kind of looking, I would anticipate some chop right now. Okay, well, and we'll take a look. We don't know, but I would anticipate it based off of the strength of these moves, or the size of these moves, hitting some of these critical levels and hitting high liquidity here as well. Okay, and you can see some of the selling coming in. All right, well, let's take, if we're, so now that's what let's go through the whole process again. Okay, so we just went through what we thought about this price action in here. Okay, we traded in that high liquidity and we see some selling coming in. There's still high liquidity above, and we've got some pullbacks in here as well. Right, so again, from our impetus, our higher time frame, and our outlook here is well, is kind of all over the place. Don't have too much of a read on that, and there's a lot of data to come out. But we're seeing the move here to the upside after some big moves last week to the downside. All right, so, and we're seeing momentum come in here. All right, so this much we know, and we already looked at some of our higher time frame levels again, back into this kind of 80 level here, and we also have this. These are pretty big, if we're looking at true ranges in here, these are pretty big ranges. Average true ranges just for the 15-minute chart is not bad. Okay, the hour chart looks pretty good too. All right, so I am anticipating a slowdown, and that also fits the time of day. All right, so now we've gone through. Let me bring that back up again. We've gone through this impetus, key levels. Now let's go through some strategies and scenarios and then pick our setup. Okay, so strategies and scenarios. I'm looking for some chop up here. All right, so if that is the case, or maybe even some mean reversion type of moves here. Okay, where is the mean? Where would that go to? Well, way down here, right? And let me cancel all, or clear the chart here. But what kind of strategy? So if that's the scenarios we're looking for, then I'm looking for kind of range bound trading at this moment, and scalping very small moves. Okay, so where's our swing? Here it is right here. Okay, and let's start to look for some liquidity around some of these areas in here. All right, so this is our swing. Okay, and What about some other areas in here? Okay, maybe here or down here. This one's probably better, but we've got a few things to look for. Okay, now let's see how much selling comes in here, and let's see what the order flow tells us here. So if the idea is down here you want to be a buyer, okay, well, again, we look for some of the order flow to give us some insights here. Okay, we're at a swing now. It's a minor swing. Okay, but maybe a stop run through it would be good to see. Okay, into high liquidity down here at 72, and then for this breakdown below our swing to fail, and have buyers come back in and maybe move it back up to 78 or 80. Okay, that's a possible scenario. All right, so again, we can even use the same criteria in here for this trendline break and accumulation. This is actually why we came up with the criteria here for the trendline break accumulation, and we covered this one first in the pilot program. Is any kind of reversal is going to have these elements in it for sure. Okay, well, I shouldn't say for sure, but highly likely you'll see these elements. For sure, you have to have a break of structure, and you have to have the aggressive accumulation, and they have to move it, move the market. Okay, so now this area in here to trade, I think, is quite dangerous. I'm not looking for, I'm not getting much insight in here. Okay, it just traded down to this level here, but I don't see many transactions. I don't see much high liquidity in here or absorption by the buyers on the bid. Okay, I want to see a stop run. In fact, I do see a stop run here to the upside here, right in here, and it's not much. Okay, so that's some sellers that quickly had to get out here. All right, and now again, if this was the move down to this level right here, I'll miss it. That's it. I'm fine with that. I'm not willing to get in on this in here. I'm not willing to take the risk. Okay, I mean, you got a low volume node down here. Yep, true. You've got these things. I just need to see more in the order flow to give me an insight in here. Okay, there's a little bit of high liquidity in here, but it's not enough in my book. Okay, and I would have missed this, or yeah, I missed it. All right, now more buyers up into high liquidity here, back to the highs of the day. There's a lot of buying. Let's see if we can get a pullback to here, right where this impulse move started. So around 79 or 8 3/4 or so. Okay, almost got there. And now let's see if is that low enough? Are there buyers in here? Nothing so far. So nothing to do. Okay, there we go. Now we dip below it. Okay, any stop runs? Nope. There's some liquidity coming in at 78 there that transacted. Okay, just noting it. There's a small mean reversion here, back down to this 76. Let's see some questions over in Discord. How do you set up the quick keys? Oh yeah, I'll show you that, Todd. That's really easy. And Robert, let's see. Beauty. Yeah, nice trade. And you trailed your stop. You got a lot more out of it. Nice work. Yeah, I think the trailing the stop is you're a little more advanced, Robert. But you know, it seems to even for some of the newbies, it's working pretty well. I've been requesting people take profits, and here's a good example. So here's Robert's trade. He was looking, he saw that aggressive accumulation in here and that break of structure. He got in here and it went against him a little bit, and then that was it though. And then it was nothing but net to the upside here. You can see him trailing his stop underneath. Okay, now he's in the MES, so it's micros in here. And this is great. This is great training. Keeping it simple. Trailing a stop, he has his target. He also trailed that up, and then got stopped out here, okay, up at 75. Okay, so now he got more out of this. We were kind of looking for at maybe the top of the range in here at 70, and then we said, well, maybe it will go up to 75, our original target, and it went a bit above it, and then pulled back here, and then stopped him out. But what he learned in here, and the patience in here, is fantastic. Okay, so moving it up, and there's a method to this as well, when to move it. And in fact, you might want to revisit that one, Robert, on maybe this was a little too aggressive here. I know that you're looking at this little swing here, right? And you're moving up these little swings when they're breaking. Anyway, but what I've been mentioning to people who are new to the program is just hit a single and make some money. Okay, you can get to the trailing the stop and scaling and all these other things later. But what you want to do is just build confidence and build your edge first. Right? It's just critical. It'll keep you inspired. It'll keep you in the game. Mentally, it will keep you in the game. And that's a big thing. Okay? Not just financially, but mentally. You're excited about it. You want to learn more. You're inspired. And that's huge. Because getting in that downward spiral and kind of breaking confidence can be a hard pit to crawl out of a lot of times. So that's why I've been saying just take your profit and look for the next setup. Now, if you took your profit at 75 up here, great. It's pretty much the same level that Robert got here as well on the pullback, and he got knocked out. But anyway, nonetheless, though, this is showing more discipline, that he's staying in it longer. He's patient. He's letting it work. Right. So that would be the next step after hitting singles and taking some profit in here, about trailing your stop and trying to get some more out of it. Okay. All right. Let's step back here. Take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so let's see. We were looking for a pullback and fading this edge in here. It didn't give us much. Came back down to this little swing here, and that was it. Thought we'd get down a little bit more here. And yeah, again, I would miss this. I just don't see the I look for some liquidity in here to get filled on the bid, and there's a little bit here and here. It's not much, and we get this kind of back and forth in here. This is better. And then this pullback is better. And this looks pretty good in here. Now these are really minor levels in kind of microstructural settings here. Okay, but it's doing it. And pull back, and then it kind of breaks out in here, and you look for maybe high liquidity here or here, and it's already done that. Okay. But anyway, see how this one in here, you're leaning on these guys. There's exhaustion up here. I see it right there. Lack of buying up here, and some selling comes in, and we turn around and we get those buyers coming in again here. It has not broken any structure in here, right? You have to come back down below 77 or so. Let's see, so Robert, you got stopped out, I think, at after it broke through 75. So it was over here. So yeah, it was right in here, I think, right? Yeah. So well, yeah, I see what you got. You've got another this kind of swing here, and that's where you got stopped out. I don't know. I don't really have too much of a recommendation for you on that. I think it's actually pretty dang good, good trade. Yeah, this is just too deep of a stop down here, and there's a lot of selling coming in. It could have easily come down here, and that would have given you a lot back. So yeah, I think that was probably pretty good decision. And you were looking at this swing here, 74 3/4, just below it. After a big move up too. So yeah, never mind, Robert. Just trying to look at it and how can we optimize it a little bit more. I mean, like up in here, right here, like maybe give it a little bit more breathing room here. Put it down a little bit below here, 82 1/4 or something. Now that said, another thing is if we see something up in here around this 86 level in the order flow, that's telling us, it doesn't want to go higher, then you can just take your profit, then just hit, market sell or move your stop up, or your move your stop up to here quickly on the chart. Okay, beautiful little top edge right here. So everything's looking good, at least by the profile in here, that we should get kind of a break here up into 88. But I don't trust it. I just, this doesn't look right to me. I see these clusters of sellers in here, lack of buyers. Let's see though, because like this is where we can get some fuel in here by these sellers. So this is the swing. This is where, let's see if we get some buyers off of here. Okay, and then here, buyers again. And then once we start to get up in here, we'd look for that stop run all the way up to like 90 or so. It'd be a quick scalp here, basically. Okay, so we got to get back up above the sellers in here and then have them, yeah, it's looking pretty good. I would look for that to unfold. And it's got to work immediately. right? Else, because we're looking for a stop run. We want to see the spike here on the stops down here. So we want to see these guys squeezed. So we need to get back up above. There we go. There we go. We want to see that, right? We got to see more of that. A lot more of that. Let's see if we can get more buyers again. See, now we're going to get a battle in here between the buyers and sellers in here. So that's a pretty big sell order there. So yeah, I would be stopped out at break even on this. Either this works immediately, I'm looking for that stop run, or I just wouldn't trade it. Or I get stopped out immediately is what I mean. I will not let, if this doesn't unfold, then we have the potential to come all the way back down in these areas in here. Okay? And that's what I'm not willing to take. So either we get the stop run or I get stopped out at break even. Very, very tight risk in here because I'm looking for something very specific. That's how I would manage it. But I mean, it's some considerations. Okay, so here come the buyers again. Now they got some on the bid here behind them too, right? So we're still kind of looking for another stop run here now. And let's see. I mean, they're on the bid here, and I don't see sellers coming in. All right, let's see it now. I'm looking for that spike here. And then quick move up into above 88. It's got to be up into 90. And again, we're looking for all of these sellers in here to really be fidgeting here, nervous, start to hit the buy button to cover. And I'm not seeing it. Again, this would have been a stop out at break even. It didn't work. Okay, let me see if there's any questions over in YouTube. My iceberg numbers are so much higher. Are they? No, I mean, this number in here. Okay, so let me go over this in here. This is a good question. So why are my numbers higher is because when I opened up my Bookmap, this is by cumulative volume delta in here. So that's why it's different. Okay, you can see I opened up my Bookmap here around 6. Okay, that's when I started collecting. Now this is all historical data behind it here, but the stops and icebergs or the MBO data only happens when you open it up live. Okay, so now there's very little in here. It just kind of back and forth a bit, but then you see a lot of iceberg selling in here. Okay, this is why. So I'm sure you open yours up at a different time, or here, let's just right click on the icebergs here and go to the iceberg settings, and see I have summation in here for the stops, right? So this is another thing. You might be looking at sliding or one of these other accumulation settings in here. Okay, mine is for summation, meaning this is like cumulative volume delta. If it's a sell iceberg, it's a negative number. If it's a buy iceberg, it's a positive number, and it just mashes them all together and spits out the outcome. Okay. There's our stop run, guys. Did we get it? No, that was beforehand. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on just a second. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so did I answer your question there, Kazabak? All right. Let's see what else is going on. Guys, actually, kind of surprised. Like I was going to go over market structure in here. It's just it's kind of the foundation and the basis. And then first we want to understand the market structure, and that's by the price action. And then we'll dive deeper into it, and we get into the order flow parts. Okay, the transactions within the price action, and then the order flow, like what's on the bid, what's on the offer, is it transacting, is it spoofing, how are traders reacting to it, etc. But we first start with the market structure, and it is critical to understand market structure. Right. So now if we go back to, let's just start with candlesticks in here and look at market structure. Okay, I like it. I mean, we look at it all the time, right? Even though it is aggregated bar data, we can still outline areas of structure. Okay, and that's what we did when we first started the webinar. Okay, so it's really, really important to understand. And what kind of environment are we in? I mean, right now, this is one big choppy mess in here on the daily. It is really back and forth. And these are big candles too. As you guys know, there's been a lot of volatility. In fact, let's take a look at the volatility in here. I got the VIX up here on the free chart, and you can see the volatility is really gone down last couple of days here. This is a daily chart on the VIX. Okay, but look, we're up above 20 in here. Now we want to see it, like, I like to see it back up around 30, basically. Somewhere between 20 and 30 is when it's, we see some pretty big volatility, and look for these areas and these spikes, and look for follow through in that. And these can be some really, really great trading opportunities. Anyway, you can see it's really coming down quite a bit now. We're down to 17. So that's what we're talking about in here, though, is volatility. So again, if we go back to this slide here about impetus and key levels and scenarios and strategies and setups, all of them, we're looking at the impetus, what's moving the markets. Okay, understand that. Understand those key levels on the higher time frames, and then start to develop some of those strategies. And then your setups are, you're going to look for some momentum moves back to the other side of the range, etc. Anyway, same process, right? But let's start with this foundation in here with the market structure. Okay, now the structure in here is pretty much going to be the swings. Okay, there's really not too much else to look at on the daily. Okay, in the hourly in here, yeah, you can see some downtrend starting to kind of show a little bit more. And some patterns as well. You know, impulse move, kind of pretty deep pullback, followed by another impulse move up to where the sellers were. Yeah, we see this is kind of that impulse move, bit of a pullback in here, not much, right? And then impulse move. And that's what we're looking at today on the 15-minute chart here, pretty nicely. So we opened up there, went below the these little swings in here. Let me put in a little bit less bars in here. How about 90? Okay. Yeah, not bad. So yeah, this is where the areas we were looking for on Friday, potentially. And we went above it. Now we open up here Monday, down below it, and then we move right back up. But this is that continuation move in here. Okay, so impulse move, and then very shallow pullbacks in here, and then followed by impulse moves again. Okay, so that's kind of the price action in here. And well, let's take a look at the structure. And I think easiest here for structure is to, I want to take off the heat map, and I want to take off the volume dots. Actually, let's just go up here, take the heat map off and the volume dots off. Okay. Oh, what was it? Yeah, I'm sorry. Someone wanted to, Todd, you were asking for the keyboard shortcuts, okay, for drawing tools. Yeah, let me just quickly show that, and then we'll go over the market structure here. All right, so if I come up to settings, keyboard shortcuts here, okay, and then it'll bring up you know, common instruments. You go through and find what you need to find, but we're going to find it under toolbars here, and then drawing tools are here, and then you can see my shortcuts are right here. Okay, so in fact, let's find one for the where is the channel tool? See the channel tool. Is that what we called it though? Hold on, take a quick look here. Yeah, it's called channel. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll just go through it for another one then. Keyboard shortcuts, toolbars, drawing tools, and then here, all you have to do is just right-click in here and remove the shortcut or add the shortcut. So make sure you right-click in here, and then I'm going to right-click again. I just removed the one for clear all drawings. I'm going to right-click again and add it, and then just you can use any kind of keyboard. Doesn't have to be one letter. It can be a combination of things. So in fact, let's just remove it and we'll add in another one, and I'll put in, I don't know, Control Shift and C, right? There it is. And then that's it, right? So now if I come up here and I start drawing all sorts of stuff, right? And I use Control Shift and C, it will clear my drawings, right? There you go. All right, that's it. It's really fast. Okay, so I'm going to go back and set that to just C again. Just right click, remove it, right click, add it, and put C. There we go. And I'm good to go. Okay. All right. So let's look at market structure. And then we'll go into that kind of discussion. And we don't have much time. We might have to continue it tomorrow. But we'll start with the bigger swings and structure, and then we'll drill down into more minor ones. Okay, so let's get our line tool up. Okay. Well, you know, right here, okay, and up into here, okay, there's a structural area, okay, here's a smaller one right here, okay. Now, if this will illustrate the point Okay, now we've come up here a bunch of times and tested. Okay, but what do we need to see up here in order to get up to this one here? Okay, and that's where we're going to look at context in here. Okay, let's turn on the heat map and the volume dots. Okay, let's first turn on the volume dots. Volume dots look pretty good. I would look for a break up to here, and let me draw this one in a little bit better. There. Okay, so but I'm looking for, this is a minor break here into a higher time frame level up here. Okay, now we need to see aggressive buyers here. Okay, no question about that. In this structure, we need to see buyers up here. Okay, for it to make it back up to 88 here. All right, so now what else do we need to see? Okay, well, the heat map will give us a lot of insight too. What if there's high liquidity up at this 86 level in here? Okay, well, then we're not, we get all the buyers come in here, but it completely absorbs that buying pressure. If that happens, then likely we're just going to come back in and trade back down to the bottom of this range. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. Now, what else can we look for in here? Okay, again, let me just take a step back again. So look at our structure, and then start to kind of come up with some ideas of what are we looking for up here in order for this structure to break. Okay, and we want to see volume by aggressive buyers. Okay, see how we're not getting that right now? Okay, so let's see. We still may, but right now it's looking like it's going to fail here to me, and I would look for sellers to take it back down to this range, or maybe the bottom of the range here at 80, 82 basically. Okay, so here we are. Now we're at 83 3/4. Okay, I think there's still some more selling momentum in here. The next little swing is here at 83, and then yeah, I'd just go down to the 82 level, basically. Okay, and that's what's unfolding here. Now we didn't get that insight until we saw this volume dot here. Okay, so now we put two pieces together in here. One was the market structure. All right, and let me take the volume dots back off again. Okay, and we drew in a bigger structure and then a smaller one. And then we started to go through what it will look like to break that structure. And what do we need to see in the order flow? And this is where order flow will give you that edge. Okay, so we're looking for buyers up here to break it and then trade up into 88. We got the opposite. And we're looking, we're waiting, we're watching, and we want to confirm it by the behavior of the traders here. And we got some selling in here. We saw the selling in here. We look for this little swing here or the bigger swings down here. Okay, and that's where it went. Right? And we also noted the condition in here of this selling. Okay, this was pretty big selling, and there was more selling here. So there's kind of some selling momentum behind it. And that's why, and when we trade back down to this one, kind of look at it again and say, well, there's some momentum behind this. We'll likely come back down a bit further into this area down here. All right, does that make sense, guys? Like, this is really the kind of foundation here. Okay, and this works on all time frames. All right, so anyway, now the volume within the price structure is really helpful. This is like your footprint traders in here, but they aren't, they're looking at these kinds of things as well. However, the difference is they're still looking at bar data. They're not going to be able to see like the interactions between these little areas in here, because it's all going to be aggregated in a bar. And I'll show you that. I'll show you what I mean here. And that's what I don't like about the candlesticks. Is this minute? I think this is a minute. This is exactly what I want to see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here we go. This is a minute candlestick chart. I can't see in here where all that selling is. If it was a 5-minute chart, we wouldn't see anything. We wouldn't get any insight. Okay, and even this one down here, see, look at this here. That looks great. See that buying back up here? Now I'm looking for it to revisit back up to here. Okay, and it's already there. I'm still looking for the break though. I want to see it trade up to the 86.25 now. And then we might get the break to 88. Okay, so here's what we have is another structural area here, and then here, coming back up. All right, so anyway, all right, so volume within structure. Okay, first mark up your structures. Okay, just keep it really simple and understand, the structural areas in here. And then I'm going to clear the drawings here and clear the candles. Okay. And then the next thing we want to see, and this is where it gets maybe a little harder to read, but it is critical. And that is to understand the order flow. Okay? And that will be the limit buy and sell orders in the heat map. Okay? Did it absorb? Did they pull? Did they add more? Are they underneath on the bid pushing? If they are underneath here and we get buyers in here, these orders under here, these buyers on the bid down at like 83 and 3/4, 83.5, they're kind of skewing the auction a bit. The bid is strong at a higher level in here, and we're finding buyers. It's repelling buyers, and we look for these aggressive buyers. I'm sorry, it's repelling sellers in here. I'm sorry, aggressive sellers. It's repelling the aggressive sellers. We're finding aggressive buyers, and they will trade up to these areas of high liquidity up in here. Okay, so these are the things that we'll put together into context as well. Right now, we can see that kind of happening here. We don't really see a lot on the bid here. So yeah, it may do it, but it's all going to be about the aggressors in here. And it's likely going to be stop runs. And there's a stop run here. I'd look for another stop run up into kind of 88 and 90 level here. Okay, let's see. I think we've got enough to make it to 88. Right now, again, this is not a trade recommendation, but we just see there's a lot of buying here. Okay, and in here, we made it to the other side of the range after trading back down to this side of the range. And that's by understanding, again, the context of these three things, okay, of the price structure or the market structure, the volume within that market structure, and then the heat map or the liquidity within that market structure. And it's really the basis for everything. All the indicators, all the moving averages, I mean, pretty much everything is going to be based off of basically two of these elements, and that is the price action and the volume. Okay? Where Bookmap offers the liquidity is rather unique, especially at the accuracy that we can show it in here. Okay, here comes our move, and I'm looking for these buyers to break it and hit 88 now. Love to see that bid light up underneath here. Let's see if we get that. Not really. But we'll probably get the stop run though. Right, these sellers in here, they're going to be buyers up in here. And nothing yet, nothing yet. Still looking for the stop run and not getting it. bid's starting to see the bid starting to show a little bit more underneath here. See that? It was just lighting up a little bit right in this area in here. And there we go. Now, still no stop run. Interesting. Still looking for it. Maybe we have to go a little higher, 89, 90, and just start to stop people out. All right, guys. Well, we got to wrap it up and call it a day here. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's see here. Another question. The order size tracker, MBO. I'll go. Not sure that the well I think that's what you're talking about is the liquidity tracker. Maybe it's in the subchart that you'll see. That's part of the MBO plugin or the MBO bundle, right? Okay. Let's see. All right, guys. Anyway, please I'm going to put the link here for the YouTube recording back in to the chat here, All Markets chat, and would love to get your guys' feedback on here about, or right into the chat here as well. Is this starting to, like, is it making it less complex? I mean, we're starting off with some really, complex things in here in the market. The market is extremely complex. But we start to kind of narrow things down and look for some specific behavior, and the rest, some of the other stuff, we can just let it go. We don't have to worry about it, and just look for some of the things that help us. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Todd. And guys, partake in the the pilot program over there. We're going to go through these setups like this trendline break accumulation. Now, we went through that in the context of that setup and try to simplify it a lot. And we applied the same thing here to this market structure, volume and heat map as well. And try to simplify it again using context. This very, very complex environment, but then how can we simplify it? Anyway, guys, thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.